Hello, and welcome back to Games Benchmarked. Zen 3 architecture processors from AMD is out for some time already. But his accessibility is still somewhat limited. I had to wait for some time, for price to come down to purchase 5600X myself. Today we are comparing 5600X to 3600 from last generation. AMD most successful CPU from previous launch. Let's start with quick overview of both processors. They are 7 nanometers, no change in manufacturing process. But 5600X have 400 MHz higher boost frequency. Rest of the specs are identical. 6 cores and 12 threads, 32 MB of L3 cache, 65W TDP. But 5600 is 50% more expensive. Can 400 MHz frequency boost and increase in IPC justify price increase? Let's find out. For my testing I have overclocked both processors. 3600 is locked at 44,000 MHz, but 15600X have dynamic overclock of 200 MHz. First set of tasks are in seconds, lower is better. As we can see, biggest gains are in mixed workloads, like Metashape, which previously was called Photoscan, and in Unreal Engine 4 build time. Blender only has 9% increase, and DaVinci Resolve is basically a draw. I expect DaVinci Resolve to be a bug, and resolved in near future. Second set of tasks are in points, higher is better. Biggest gain is in Geekbench single score test, 25%. Rest of the tests have more modest gains of 10 to 14%. Now it is time for one task where 5600X is supposed to shine the most, gaming. I have used 10 games, newer and older titles. Some games are at 720p and some at 1080p. Not all games support my overlay perfectly with different resolution. But almost always I am CPU bound even with RTX 2060, but even at 720p 5600X can often come very close to full utilization of this mid-range GPU. As always recording is done with GPU running the game. If you want most accurate results skip to the end of each title. Those FPS numbers are captured without recording.
Stay out of my way.
First game is Witcher 3. Just looking at average FPS, it is much faster. 27%. Now let's take closer look how consistent are both processors. 5600X as expected, runs pretty well, though there is more spikes than 3600. So 3600 is a bit more consistent, but slower overall. Next game is Assassin's Creed, Odyssey. This is much closer, 5600X enjoys only 8% win in average FPS. But in frame time consistency 3600 actually enjoys solid win.
DB, take it out!
Affirmative, Lieutenant. Instruction given.
Damn it! Diddy! We just lost our backup! Shit! I'm down! got you, I got you.
In Gears of War 5, 5600X enjoys very strong win. It is 38 FPS, or 25% faster in average. Both processors are very consistent and do not exceed 10 millisecond refresh rate. For high refresh gaming, 5600X is definitely worth the premium in this title. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is just insane. It is 38% faster on 5600X. Good news is that 5600X have very good frame time consistency in this game, even better than 3600. Red Dead Redemption 2 is very good at utilizing multiple threads. On average 5600X scores 27 FPS more. And 5600 have more consistent frame times. Clear win for 5600X.
An ecclesiastical extraction coming right up.
Ecclesiastical extraction? Good one.
Oh, sir, I recognize that thing. It's a scrapjack.
Serious Sam 4 is one of the newest titles and one of the worst, optimization-wise. It is linear, like Doom, but performs like complicated open-world title. And in games like these 5600X shines, boosting performance for 30%. Frame time is inconsistent for both processors.
Oh, is this why the zone is off limits? I mean, if all the packs here are like that. How about we take the bridge to cross the railroad? It would save us a detour. Damn, too high. Hey, Artyom, help me get out there. Shit! Come up now. I got you! Did you hear that, Artyom? Something large roaring. At least it was far away.
Now that's what I call a blizzard! Can't see.
Metro Exodus is another convincing win for 5600X. It is 28% faster. And if we look how consistent frame times are, it looks like a draw. Both processors have couple of spikes here and there. Ryzen 0 Dawn is GPU bound even on low settings at 720p. So differences is lower than with other titles. But still, 5600X enjoys solid 18% lead. Both charts are with spikes, but 5600X is definitely more inconsistent frame time wise.
Sam, if you want to confirm you're headed the right way, check your compass. It'll never steer you wrong. Provided you have a destination, that is. Central wasn't just home to Bridges HQ. It was also the seat of the Reconstructionist movement. If the president hadn't required special treatment, she would have never left. And if she hadn't, we wouldn't have either.
Death Stranding is one of the newest titles and it runs pretty well on both processors. Unfortunately for 5600X I am GPU bound, so gains are smaller than expected, only 9%. Frame time is very smooth for both processors. It appears that 5600X is more faster and smoother in this title. Last game is Total War, Troy. This is only game where I deliberately chose to be GPU bound. It was mainly for two reasons. 1. Reducing quality drastically reduces CPU load. 2. I wanted to show how it looks when you are GPU bound. So, we are looking at exactly the same performance in averages and frame time consistency. So, it is time to wrap this up. On average 5600X was 24% faster, with Troy excluded. That is actually more than I expected, pretty impressive gen-on-gen leap. But what worries me most is inconsistent frame times, or to be more precise less consistent than 3600. Upon searching other reviews, I did not find one, where 5600X frame time is being analyzed. So what is going on here? I actually think it could be I/O issue, maybe my RAM is too slow. I have cheapest 32000 CL16 kit. Unfortunately I do not have another RAM kit to test it. Why I do not think that 5600X is actually less consistent than 3600. Because architecture-wise it makes no sense, and although CPU is out for a month, at least one reviewer would have picked that up. So, if you are planning on really high frame rate gaming and want frames to be as consistent as possible, get fast RAM, with tight timings. Now, is it worth the upgrade? In my honest opinion, I think now, unless you are buying RTX 3080 or RX 6800 XT. With any other GPU you will not notice the difference, just because 3600 is fast enough. What about when you build a new PC? Then I would recommend going for 5600. New PC usually costs $1,000 to $1,500 and then, it is only 5 to 10% premium. And increased single-thread performance is definitely worth it. Thanks for watching and staying until the end. If you liked the video, then hit the like button. If you have any question please post them in comments, I will be very happy to answer all of the question. If you do not want to miss my next video, consider subscribing. Goodbye, stay safe and keep playing video games.